Hey guys, welcome back to Landscape Baller, where this week we are going to be talking about this design here that you are seeing right now. I should say that I already started on the project because you guys already see the design. So you are not going to get to see every single detail of the design or my specific ideas when I was creating this, but you will see pretty much the finished product. Now, one thing that the homeowners wanted to focus on were a few things. One being a hot tub, being another one a pergola, having concrete patio with also having some ramps and also synthetic turf. So those are the main things, and also this area for the hot tub potentially be sunken down in the backyard. So you see how I kind of have this for reference, which is kind of what we are working with right now. So now that we have some of those main ideas, let's break it down over here in the design. So one of the things that you can tell right now is that I'm always focusing on where's going to be the high point, but also where you have the low point of it. I know it's supposed to be an LP, but it's an LI. It's low point. But with that being said, a few things that I was working is where we're going to have one of the main things, which was the hot tub, and what it's going to take for us to get this area working for the homeowner. One, there's a nice view on this specific corner, but also to get this going, we need to have a retaining wall because of the high point. The water is going to travel through these blue arrows, and by having this retaining wall, we're going to be able to redirect the water as opposed to going straight through. So this is kind of the blue line. You'll see where that's the wall and where the water would go if it wasn't for that wall, which is going to be straight through, which we did not want. So creating this wall would give us that height to redirect the water to go on both sides, one going to the right, one going to the left, kind of going down where you're going to have the other low point. And you'll see how I'm just writing the LP there. That's where water is going to drain. Now, having a driveway bed was going to help for a few things. One, having water go down, but also visually would also make it look nice. And having this retaining wall was going to do the same thing, creating that height difference, and also allowing us to do a water feature of this style. I've done something like this before, and I think I've shown it before. If not, I'm going to tag it. You guys can check that out, a previous project. But here you kind of have the patio that they were looking to do. Also, one of the things is that they wanted to do also a synthetic turf area for kids to play there. Also less maintenance for this area, and also for their dog, if they need to do its business, it could do it there. Now, in terms of shrubbery, in this case trees, something like an evergreen, have it there for privacy purposes next to the hot tub was going to work well. And also on the corners of the property, maybe have something a little bigger, trees that could potentially grow somewhere between say 40 and 60 feet tall eventually. Maybe something like a maple, maybe like a linden, maybe like an oak, that would eventually get pretty nice and big and kind of give them a little bit more of color for them to see. So again, 40 to 60, there's many different options, and it's going to depend where you are, but this specific yard had the space for that type of trees that I was going for. Now, there's a few other things that we could also talk about. Things like the way that we wanted to design this. We wanted to be very flowy with everything. You can see it with the concrete, you can see it with the synthetic turf, you can even see it with the wall, how we want everything to flow. They didn't really want any straight lines. Of course, the house has straight lines, but they just didn't want everything else to be just very straight, because even the property itself, it's kind of like a weird shape. So they want to have as many curves as possible. And you can tell even here with this pathway over here that it makes some nice curves to the back patio. So having also areas for one of their family members that has to be in a wheelchair to be able to move around from the house, the side of the house, the back side of the house, was also very important for this specific project. So one of the things I'm always focusing is on, if you have something like this, to look into it and see what's useful for you. Now, for the front, there's a few things that I kind of put some tags for areas, like maybe the trees, an area for where they can sit, maybe have a couple chairs, a table, that type of thing, and even different kinds of shrubs and trees that would work for this specific area. You'll see how I have some crimson, some Anthony water spirea, some Japanese tree lilac, potentially things that would work for this area. So that's kind of the design of this area that I'm working with. Now, of course, right now you are seeing pretty much the finished product, but there was a lot of things that I was thinking about when designing this. Where to have that area for the turf, where to have the area for the water feature, where to have the area for the hot tub, where to have an area for where you could potentially put an area to plant some vegetables, that type of thing. There's so many things that I was focusing when I was doing this design, and you can see right now here with the design in itself where I wanted things to go. So when you are doing your own design of your own house, you want to keep those things in mind. Take those things into consideration. What is the ultimate idea regarding this? Who is it for? Is it going to be for yourself and your wife? Do you have kids? Are they young kids, older kids? Are they going to even be in the picture for them to enjoy? Maybe have grandkids. All those things are important when you are doing a design, because the design is going to have to fit you. You want it to be important for you so it works for you, your flow of things. If you want to be very nice and straight, you can do that as well. If you want it to be very curvy like this design, you can also do that as well. Of course, this is a full project, but there's a chance that if you're doing your own house, you maybe are doing little sections at a time. But by creating a full master plan, you can start working on areas that you are maybe thinking of doing first, tackling first, and later on adding things. So this is the design for this specific thing. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys are working in your own projects. Of course, you guys can reach us over at Landscape Baller on Instagram and also TikTok. Put your comments below of what your thoughts are in this design. And of course, don't forget the motto here, which is Dream, Design, Create. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.